Captain's Log Supplemental.
Hey Jeremy, you know those race cars you're busy building?
Yeah, I do.
You,
I
you,
got one that I'm looking at every day.
you know what I don't see you working on?
You don't see me working on the amazing Sentinel system yet.
That's true. It would take all of 10 minutes for you to have one.
And it's very quick and easy to install.
It is. It is. And we could watch you when we are not at the race with you and see how you're doing. And then we can call you up when you get out of the car and tell you everything you did wrong.
And I love that because so many years I've been driving and not been able to see what I'm doing.
I know.
And now we can.
I know. You know what I'd like to do with the video? My most favorite thing is I take the video and I load it on YouTube and then I send it to my coach and say, look at 26 minutes and 17 seconds. Look at this one lap and tell me what I can do better. And every single time, you know what they say?
Everything.
Exactly. Precisely. So with the Sentinel system, you get instantaneous feedback plus useful feedback that unfortunately is accurate for my driving.
I think it's accurate for all of our driving.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's probably true. Yep. But you need to get one in your car, sir.
Yes, I do. And with the discount code that you're going to tell everybody, they can save 10% on this awesome system.
Yep. Trouble-free. I haven't had an issue getting video every time we've gone out with the Sentinel. It's always worked. Can't say the same for some of the other systems we've tried. So I don't know. It's on the podcast notes down there. Don't do it while you're driving, though. We like to have our listeners live. It's good.
From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher, and their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher, and our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Skripchuk. Their mission: to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'm going to be one of the hosts for this episode. My name is Bill. Who else is hosting?
I'm Vicky.
You sound so
And I'm Eric
anticlimactic.
Kritzler.
And Eric's here too.
And then Eric is here. Eric
That's right.
Kritzler. Yeah.
Eric, have we ever done the official intro to Eric podcast yet? Or have you just been doing post-race reviews?
Post race.
Post-race?
Just post race. Yeah.
Well, let's pretend people don't know who you are because, I mean, world famous Eric Kritzler.
I don't know about the world.
Well,
Every once in a while,
depends on where you define the world, you know?
Exactly.
It's
Awesome.
the Venn diagram overlaps somewhere.
It does.
3 p.m. member.
Yep. Since 2016, I've been racing with them. That was great. I kind of got
Occasionally
pulled into
suck
that.
up to us a little bit, you know, when
I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I love playing racing with you guys, but it all
always
depends on
fun.
what makes sense, right?
Exactly.
You guys
Always
are
welcome.
busy. You have a lot of people already, so it's a good thing.
It's always
Yeah.
welcome. So what else do we not know about you? Pretend you were introducing you to someone in the amateur endurance racing team.
All right, let's stick with the car stuff for now, right? I grew up wrenching on cars, my own cars, mostly in the air-cooled Volkswagen world,
Really?
right? In the early 80s, when I was 12 or so, I was introduced to my dad bought me like a tube frame and I installed a dune buggy, a whole thing, and that became my a hobby of choice, as it may be, fixing that thing and making it happen. So that was my foray. And then right about in the early 80s, at least especially in upstate New York, and probably similar to around where you were, if you looked in any neighborhood, in the backyard of 20% of the houses was an old VW. Right? Everybody loved their VW, but it rotted, so they stuck it back there and they said, "Oh, I'm going to fix it someday." So me and my friend Tom Buswell would go and go up to these people's houses and say, "Hey, do you want that VW?" And then generally the answer was, "If you could tow it out, you can have it." And I probably had 23 or so VWs, Beetles, between the late 60s and the 75. Some of which worked well. I would strip for parts, the other ones, and if they were too rotted, occasionally I would sell a few. But it was really more about learning. It was about learning the cars and all that good stuff. We'd occasionally dabble in a squareback or a Carmagia or a Type 2 transporter bus. And that led me to every day on school, I had a school bus ride that was, an hour long as it is in upstate New York. And I would go by this house, and it led me to saw a Porsche 914 sitting in this guy's yard for my entire school bus trip. And when I was a senior, I said, okay, it hasn't moved in 7 years. And so I went up there and I asked to buy it, and they're like, yeah. I mean, I got the wife, so I knew it was going to be an easy sell. She was like, get it out of here. And so that got me in the Porsche world, which is not that much different at the time of VWs. It's a Type 4 motor, and everything else gets complicatedly close. So I rebuilt that car over a summer, and I drove it here and there, and I still own that one. That's
Oh, that's
1987.
the one you have still?
That orange one, yeah. And that led me into other Porsches, right? And then it led me into autocross, and it led me into driver's ed, Porsche Club driver's ed. I started that right about 2003. Did a lot of it early on, would do at least 4 or so a year. And that taught me the basics. I always fashioned myself as somebody who could understand as an engineer. I understood momentum and apex and maintenance of speed and smooth driving. A lot of my off-road driving that I did when I was a kid taught me about smooth and sliding and oversteer and making it happen and all that good stuff. So that was my car journey. I bought more Porsches since then. And I've never yet gotten rid of one. So that's what we call a sickness or something. I don't even know. We'll figure that out.
I think it's a feature.
A feature. Okay, yeah. So that's where I was at. It's 2016. My friend Tom, again, we took a 914-6 that we built, and we did the one lap of America, which I know you guys had always wanted to do.
We're 0 for 3 so far, but we're working on
but
it.
you're gonna get there.
It's been paid for. We're just have to get there.
So we campaigned a 74 GT replica, so with a 3-liter SC motor in there, and did the whole Northeast, the whole one lap of America that year. We came in second in vintage class out of 3, so it's good enough. And the car was fantastic, although it has no heat, no air conditioning. It's loud. We were in Kirky seats, so we did
not a lot of room.
2,600 miles that week in that loud, awesome, amazingly prepped car. So kudos to Tom for prepping that car beautifully. Highly reliable, but yet rough around the edges as you could imagine. So, and then I met the 3PM guys, Chris and Chrissy. They were doing it the same year.
Yep.
Like, you guys would like, because they realized that we were similarly humors were similar, old Greg references and Strong Bad. And they said, you would like Lemons. 2016, I started doing Lemons with them. And I love that. I love Lemons. I love the theming. I love the concepts of IOE is greater than first place. That is a fantastic concept. Everybody shoots first place. You want that, but really, they honestly want you to bring in something crappy and make it work as opposed to just win. And they live by that. That's good. That's why I will never own a BMW.
We cannot say the same.
I know. I may actually. I love BMWs. So driven a lot of good ones. So
I get you.
So that's my racing. That's where I got. I mean, there's details, but who cares?
No, it's fine. I mean, if we don't babble on endlessly about something, it's not a podcast.
It's not a podcast. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, hopefully, I didn't babble on endlessly.
Not yet. We're working on it. We'll get you up to speed soon. We got time. It's still early.
Right. Deal. Yeah,
So,
I have far too many hobbies, but cars are my main one.
mhm. So, on your racing car to-do list, what cars, tracks, series are of interest that haven't been checked off yet?
I definitely want to go to Mid Ohio. Haven't been there yet.
Oh, you missed it before the repave, but I hear it's still fun.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the things. I want to go to Barber. I've not been to Barber yet.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
those are the big ones. And then the West Coast is a whole new world I've not started with. I've talked to, Tim Burr and Matt Verdes and all those guys, and they're like, yeah, you could do, and Dean Halter, and they're like, yeah, come on, you could come out sometime. Uh, but with kids in life, haven't gotten that far.
Yeah.
Would love to do a West Coast race.
Is
Yeah.
this
So
the same Tim Burr who's got actual production in Lemon's videos now? Is that the same Tim Burr?
Tim Burr, yeah, Tim Burr is a man of many talents. In fact,
Hmm.
the talents are so many that I can't count them.
No, no.
And I'm not sure anyone else can. It's
That's
it's
right.
one of those things. Scientists have been studying for years the total number of talents, and I don't think they've ever been able to come up with a number yet.
Yeah, I
Got a
think
lot of zeros.
the question is if the talent fell in the woods, would anybody hear it?
I think Tim would still hear it. That's one of his talents.
Could be. Could be. Apparently he is a as on the Everyone Racers podcast that popped out today, apparently he is working on his inflatable unicorn wrangling. I don't know if you got to listen to that one yet. So
Nope, not yet. And
Unicorn wrangling?
unicorn wrangling. Apparently he has replaced his large inflated flamingo with a large inflated unicorn, and the unicorn has managed to
Oh.
escape his we'll call it a paddock, his paddock on the lake, and likes to continue to move and go view other things at random times for no apparent reason, despite being attached to the ground with concrete and chains and stuff. It's this unicorn's got magic.
I think that a unicorn should always be set free.
Mm.
It's like
I mean,
something you love. If you don't set a unicorn free, what are we? Barbarians, right?
exactly. Or we're in the Legend movie with Tim Curry, but that's a different story too.
Okay, good point. Or
So
Harry Potter. Yeah.
Mm.
what um what advice do you hold when it comes to racing?
Uh, be safe.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No, so many people go out there and it's like I have to shave off 4 seconds, and they try their so hard just to push harder and harder and harder to shave off that 4 seconds, and then it always puts them at a detriment in safety, right?
Hmm.
It's like
Hmm.
the organic time has to come off different than pushing, right? It has to come off in a I'm really going to learn this corner well, and when I do it right, it won't feel like I'm pushing. I'm going to be doing it safely and smoothly, and then I'll save my 2 seconds. It'll come,
Hmm.
and you don't do it because you've been pushing hard. So pushing only gets you uh, more tire
Broken.
wear, more brake wear, broken cars, and getting you in places you shouldn't be.
Hmm.
So that's now I am far from the best fastest driver out there. In some ways, that's part of what I do is I will always bring the car back whole and
Hmm.
with respectable times, but not making it be and that's why they usually have me start, because starting is often a mess.
Hmm.
And I navigate my way without injury, knock on polyvinyl chloride, etc., and bring the car back whole and a mechanical sympathy, right? And mechanical sympathy goes along with all that. That smoothness and mechanical sympathy are right together, and people don't always understand that. But that's definitely something I would recommend. Pay attention to the way you shift. Pay attention to the way you heel and toe. If it's not smooth, then you're not happy. The car's not going to be happy with you. And once you get it smooth, you'll gain speed. So
Good advice.
For sure.
I hope so. At least I'm not saying go out there and kill yourself. I got that crazy with you.
I mean, if you're going to be conservative and everything, but whatever. So before we get to the fun of the episode, um, we met you at our first race back in New Jersey in like 2017. I think it was 17.
Yeah, with the
Pre
Capri.
pre-plague, yeah. And You were one of those people we saw racing, and then all of a sudden you started having a little battle with the racing, and we were concerned, and maybe we should go into it and hopefully how we have found a solution.
All right, yeah, let's talk about that. I don't know how these things come about. The human body is a funny thing, but I started to battle nausea approximately 1 hour into the race every time, and it became a serious impediment for me to be able to do endurance racing, as I couldn't survive much more than an hour and 20 minutes or so. And worse yet, when I was starting to get nausea, my heart rate would go up, I would I'd get sweaty. I'd be distracted. I would up my caloric burn.
Hmm.
I was nothing but a mess, right? And I thought it was mental. I tried for different things. I tried,
Everybody blames mental.
well, that's rightful. As well you should. So, uh, in this case, though, it probably wasn't mental's fault.
Yeah.
And there's I talked to an ear doctor, and they're like, yeah, this can happen. It's part of your inner ear and the movements and all that stuff. And I Jeremy turned me on to a generic brand Dramamine of sorts from Walgreens 2 years ago, etc. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? I've tried other ones, and out of nowhere, there I was, not only able to finish my full race, but my total amount of uh, not just how I felt afterwards. I could get out of the car after 2 hours and feel like, what the hell? I could do another hour, because
Really?
I wasn't fighting my body. I wasn't fighting the sweats and the nausea all the stuff I was paying attention to that I shouldn't have been. No, I had to, because it was just my body fighting me. So this was just my total energy level or consumption was so lower that I felt great coming out of a race car after 2 hours. And
Right.
my cool shirt ice usage was much lower too. I could go, instead
Oh,
of like every 1 minute, I could do 3 minutes, because my heat, I was just more calm, and my oxygen rate was lower, and all these things. And it matters. And all those things matter significantly. So so far, so good. I was actually doing great. Guilty as charged in New Jersey, though. My first stint out, I had done a little bit imbibement the night before, and
Caloric intake. Yes.
yeah, 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 heavy calories, and I wasn't exactly the best, but the subsequent ones I did fine. So
Carb
it was
carb
just one
loading.
of the,
Carb loading.
yeah, carb loading. Liquid carbs.
Sorry, liquid
Yes.
carbs with
Yeah.
bubbles.
So don't
So
do
the
that.
so the typical path that we always recommend when you start feeling nauseous is you try like ginger pills, right?
Yeah, try
You know,
ginger pills.
start with as light as possible, and then those
Hmm.
seem to work. Or ginger ale. Some people like ginger ale, whatever.
Hmm. Yeah.
You did that. You did
Yep.
Dramamine, like
Yep.
normal Dramamine. All
Normal
those.
drumming.
You
Yep.
did the little pressure point things on the
Yep.
wrist.
Yep. I did the shocking wrist one, the one that gives you electric shocks.
Hmm.
Yep. Tried that. Turned it all the way up. And I was like, I'm gonna get through this, even though it was painful. I'm like, I'm gonna make this happen.
Keep
And
turning left. Why do I keep turning left? Oh, that's
and here we go. And none of that worked. And so I believe someday that it really is mental, is, a mental function, and that I will be able to work my way through it with some sort of self-calming situation and making myself through that. But until then, I have a stockpile of this uh, Dramamine stuff. Take 2 pills, and I'm out there, and I'm happy. And it's
and
just so
it's
much more fun now. So much more fun.
and we have no idea why Walgreens does it, but it's working. It's not just you. You're not the only one.
It's amazing, right? I don't know.
You
I don't
know,
know either.
mm.
don't
Somewhere.
not Walmart, not Wall. What's the other Wall? Not CVS, not Rite
Wally.
Aid. None of those.
No.
Walgreens. Anyway, which doesn't help us because there's no Walgreens near us. So whenever we need it, we
Oh,
call up
yeah, I
Yeah.
Jeremy
know.
and say, "Can you
Oh,
grab
oh,
some?"
okay. Yeah. So props to Jeremy. He's like, just try this. I'm like, sure. Well, what could hurt? And God bless Jeremy.
It's about time Jeremy
Speaking of
contributed
which,
something to this
that
team.
was the same time. That was the same one where you guys won for your theme,
Yep.
your dodgeball
So
theme.
look at
Oh,
that.
the dodgeball theme.
That's a segue beyond segues. Thank you, Eric.
Here to help.
So we always joke that the Everyone Racers podcast is the 201 and we're the 101 podcast. But we're gonna have our first we're gonna claim 201 podcast today. We're going theming. And when we think theming, we think, where's Eric?
Yep.
Well, let me just say this. I was so happy to be with you guys doing the Pittsburgh race one. That was so much fun. And the best part about it is how you guys, your team, I don't even need to beg or plead or anything. Everybody's just in on the theme. It's so good. So good. And that right there is the number one most important thing is everybody needs to be enthusiastically theming,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Because when we had our pre-race meeting, we were talking
Yeah.
about theming, and somebody, I don't remember who, said they wanted to do Top Gun, and somebody else was like, "Well, we've already done Top Gun." I said, "Yes, but have they overdone Top Gun?"
My Jennifer just kept saying, but did they do it well?
That's right.
Yes, that's a thing. There are a couple themes out there that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the general race team says, well, that's been done, or that's been done. And I'm always like, they haven't done it like we do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Like, let's
Mhm.
just say Spaceballs is one I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen Spaceballs done. And I know there's a team that does it kind of, or at least
Mhm.
their car is it, but they don't really do Spaceballs the way Spaceballs should be done.
Mhm.
It's not Spaceballs with an exclamation point at the end.
Exactly.
Mhm.
To have a yogurt doing the merchandising at the local table, right? That right there, all these little things that could happen. But
Absolutely.
so someday I may try to resurrect that Spaceballs theme as a thing that I will be pushing for.
I know we
I
have.
can always say that, if you're doing a smoke machines work really well.
Smoke machines work really well. And
Mhm.
anything that gives you a over the top visual,
Mhm.
something that makes you you can't ignore it, right? The judges can't ignore it.
Horrible singing.
Yes.
It was so bad.
So bad.
We should have practiced.
I'm not sure that would have helped.
Yeah. The only tune you guys could
It
carry
sounded
came
better
at
in our
hand.
head.
And it's funny, I'm always pushing for a musical add to the theme because I think it helps greatly. And it fleshes out the whole rounded theme, just do something musical. Or at least lip sync it or pick anything.
Mhm.
And every once in a while I get pushback on that. Like, no, no, no. I'm like, guys,
Have you seen us sing? Why, yes. Yes, I have.
Right. And in spite of our rendition of "You've Lost That Love and Feeling," he still pushes for it. So he's committed.
I think in this case it was better that it was really bad.
It was
Right, because
really quite bad. Yes.
that's horrible.
All right. So in general, if you were to say what makes a winning theme, you would say what?
I would say a relatable topic and or media or social aspect of the world, which has a little bit of obscurity,
Mm-hmm.
a significant depth,
Mm-hmm.
and high funny or quirky entertainment value.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's take the one that won at New Jersey. Their hippo juice thing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Obscure, huge depth.
Yes.
Huge depth.
Stinky.
I had no idea. I had to literally go home after Eric Rude was talking about it, and I had to read up on this thing because I had no idea. I mean, he was of course right, but I didn't even know how far along that went.
Mhm.
And they jumped in, never stopped doing it, and
The
had
whole
this
weekend.
depth of products, of hawkers, of the hippo butt spraying out poop. I
Mhm.
mean, just levels and depth. They didn't have song that I could tell. I didn't see that. They had two songs.
So why don't we describe exactly what their theme was for those that were
Okay.
not at that event?
And
So-
if you weren't at the event in the tech shed when the hippo shat
Oh wait, we'll
upon
get there. We'll get
the
there.
other car, consider yourself lucky.
So I don't remember the year now, but somewhere early 1900s, I believe, there was a honest effort, including legislature at the uh, United States Senate level, to start importing hippopotamus as food product
Hmm.
and to bring them in instead of cattle, et cetera. It would be the next thing. They use waterlands, et cetera. And this got,
Because of
you know,
course.
I don't know how many people actually knew what a hippopotamus was back then. I mean, right, they thought, oh, whatever,
Well,
what's
they
the
are
le-
called
what's the
water
s-
cows.
yeah, what's the third leading cause of death in Africa? Hippos, right?
And we need
Humans
some of them.
first, insects second. I mean, mosquitoes second, and hippos. Hippos kill so many people. We need
Mhm.
more of this. Go
Yeah.
go talk to a cow. Like, yes, nice little cow. But
Not
and
a nice cow.
they printed out huge things about the product, why hippos are important and why they're going to do this. They had costumes. They had products. They had very hippo piss products, and they had which is really Gatorade, and they
Mhm.
had all these things, these levels and depth, adding to an semi-obscure theme that nobody really knew about, right? And that was a winning theme. There's so many winning themes, of course, and I will go into that. There's also uh that's the way I like to win themes, which that depth. The other way is to have something simple and yet hilarious that doesn't stop paying off. And I'll just go to, and they didn't win, but they could have, was the Three Pedal Mafia's Statler and
Waldorf.
Waldorf
Yeah.
uh, thing for the reasons for that. If we didn't pull off our
Oh,
funeral for the car, they would have won it.
Right.
so we just kept going.
We just kept going, and that's a key that you never stop. Don't get
That's
out of
right.
character. Don't stop making the jokes.
The
Don't
car
and
stopped, so we used it as part of the theme.
it was brilliant. I remember
That
Billy,
the,
you had left, right? You had already
Yep.
head off to Alabama, and you were we were talking, and he was like, "Oh, we need to have a funeral," and I was like, "Oh yes, a
and I
full
tell you, we were all on board too.
You
like that."
hold on,
It
hold,
was like
hold,
snap.
hold on. Uh, we were all on board after Eric said it. When I told you, you're like, no, that's dumb. But that's
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I believe she just didn't understand your brilliance at the moment, Bill.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes it takes a while for brilliance to come down. No,
Yeah.
but seriously,
It was a team effort.
it
And it
was a team
wasn't
effort.
until you pulled out the rubber chicken.
Well, that was everything started to come together. Like
We may have to clarify pulling out the rubber chicken just in case people get the wrong idea of what Eric did there.
so the night before, somebody zip tied the rubber chicken to the clutch pedal of the Mazda 3. So that when you press down, it went and so I
That won't
cut it
get
off
old
in the
at all.
morning because we had already because I was driving some of their car because they was out of contention for B again. And I had a shift starting off that morning in 3. And so there it was, I was like, so I cut that thing off and I had it there. And when we started going down, I started going down the path of what makes a military funeral. Well, we need a flag. We need to, pass the flag. We need to do honors. We need to play taps. And then I think, oh, play taps on the chicken, right? And you guys, everybody was so good, committed, came right in there. Everybody stood there, saluted at attention. It was just so brilliant. Nobody broke character.
Brad
Blake played the
Brad Sven
grieving
was
widow.
tearing up.
Oh, Blake played the tearing widow, taking the flag. It was, and that's what cinched it for us that weekend, because we never stopped, and the humor level was all the way up here. So brilliantly done. You guys did brilliantly.
Hmm.
So maybe we go over. I don't know if I'm kind of torn. I haven't figured out whether we go over other people's themes or we keep it to our own so we're not leaving people out. I don't know. but
Yeah, I
maybe
don't.
some of the good ones and some of the, weren't quite their themes.
Yeah, one of the so another couple things at New Jersey, there were some really interesting themes. The Dune theme
Hmm.
was like theater.
It was.
It was theater. You know, they did that whole Fremen don't walk rhythmically thing. They
Hmm.
did this, they did that. The car looked amazing as a sandworm. Their costumes were amazing.
Yep. They
And
had the
I
little
loved
ride
it.
along dune, like a
Yeah,
small worm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the only problem is that it was just theater and then it was done, right? There was no that was all they had.
It
So it
started
was
today and ended today. That was about it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I'm not saying it was amazing, and I give them huge kudos for dedicating that much time and effort into making that happen. But it didn't continue. There was no way of bringing it back again and again and again, right? They would show up in their costumes, but that wasn't it, you know. And it used to be that if you stayed in your costume all weekend and you had a couple mild thing, you had a good running. Now you have to do more.
Yep.
You have
Stepping
to
up.
do more,
And New
right?
Jersey's always been
Hard.
traditionally a hard one to theme and win
Yes.
because for many people in the Northeast, at least, it's their first race. So the new themes come out. So
Yeah.
if you're going to try to win it in New Jersey, you better bring it hard.
Bring it
You got to
hard.
bring it real hard.
Yeah. And
That's on the East Coast. Even though we do have the Pittsburgh race, it's truly the Jersey race in June that really kicks everything off.
yes, true. And I will say that your both times you won that, uh, the team took advantage of a situation to foster and improve the theming. For example, when you did dodgeball,
Hmm.
having you guys didn't plan to have a dodgeball game in the middle of the potluck. That just that just happened. And
It was
then
it
it
was on the it
became
was on the table
It
to
was Jennifer is pretty
evil.
well, not only that, is she has this thing where she says you have to hit all the elements
yeah, yeah, it's
of it.
good.
You have to hit sensory, you have to have
Hmm.
inclusion, you have to have some kind of music or theming to
Hmm.
it that way,
Hmm.
a visual, and anything that can draw people in.
Yes,
Activities.
you got
That's how a theme works.
something that brings them in. And
Hmm.
like I don't want to, yeah, I'll occasionally talk about other themes, but I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go, not gonna critique anybody else's theme, but let's just go to our Blazing Saddles theme.
Oh yeah,
The
that was
the
pretty good.
the toll booth that people had taped dimes to their roll cage
Yep.
so that they could give Chrissy a dime as they went on track because she was taking dimes for the toll booth. You know,
Because
somebody
a
better go
toll
back and
booth.
get a shitload of dimes. That
Yes,
right? That's it.
that's
That's
inclusive.
inclusion.
It draws them in.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yep. And it's always good to do a little theater at the morning meeting, right?
Hmm.
Always good, which always
Yep.
happens and it works. If you don't do that, that's almost you got to do that now.
Like
That's
Hmm.
for
it's the
Top
level we're
Gun,
at.
we did the classroom at the meeting.
Brilliant.
We
And
did a
somebody asked a couple
classroom at the
questions.
meeting.
Yeah, you did. It was
Yep. They
great.
kept yelling at. And I think at one of the things we actually start having dodgeball fights at the meetings or just tossing dodgeballs around.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that was good. But just running with what you have and adding on to the theme based on what happens that weekend, that's a big win,
Hmm.
right? There's
Hmm.
no way we would have done a military funeral for the car because we wouldn't think about it. Why would we do that? The car's
Nope.
gonna last, you know? Shuffle pins or what I guess they aren't there, but um anyway, it's anyway, so that's just one of those things. Roll with the punches, keep the theme going no matter what happens.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
themes don't have to be expensive.
Themes don't have to be expensive. That's a good point.
I mean,
Costumes don't need to be spot on. They just need to be
close.
subjective.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like they or have something to do with, right? You don't have to spend a lot of money.
No, like I remember when you guys were doing the um I don't remember what the exact theme was, but you were a general and the uh the uh the balloon had just gone over.
Chinese spy balloon.
Chinese spy
Oh
balloon, that's
yeah,
right.
that was so funny. And then we drew the eyeball on it.
That's right. I drew the eyeball, and then you guys made it pretty, which I
Hmm.
thank you for that because it wasn't such a pretty eyeball.
Until
But
Chris
yeah, that
popped it.
one. Yeah, that one was a theme that, to my, I'll take a little blame. Once it popped, we kind of gave up hope. We could have done something else. We could
Hmm.
have, kept running with it, but we
Hmm.
all were busy running, trying to get the car to win, and we said, "Oh, okay, whatever, whatever."
It's hard to theme hard and race hard
It is.
at the
That's
same
that's
time.
why that's why it's so good with you guys. Everybody on that theme. You had like Blake who was there from who wasn't running, right? He was jumping in wherever he could to foster the theme, and you had everybody was always there in costume, ready to walk in the smoke machine in slow motion.
Hmm. Because I mean, that's how you walk in a smoke machine.
Hmm.
I assume so. I can't imagine there's any other way.
No other way. So you've done way more themes than we have. So how about some themes that maybe you didn't execute well, or maybe they didn't quite go as you had planned, and what we could learn from that?
Okay. Uh Definitely, and I just mentioned it, the spy balloon one. Once
Hmm.
we popped the spy balloon, we realized all the investment we made into getting something to float was sort of deflating. See what I
Hmm.
did there?
I
And
saw
it,
that.
yeah, and it made us, and I should have pushed harder to theme. Um, you know, the 80s theme that we did.
Hmm.
Um, my problem was that didn't, I didn't properly, I guess, inspire most of the team to really be part of that. Right? They
For
were
what
kind of
for
part.
what theme was it?
It was
Chrissy's
the
birthday.
80s term, the journey theme.
Oh
Oh, the journey.
yeah.
I thought you meant Chrissy's birthday theme.
Oh,
Okay.
no, no,
Oh
no.
yeah.
Chrissy's birthday, I never intended to win. It was always more about just having a great weekend,
Hmm.
Hmm.
right?
And we did.
And it was good, and it got
Yeah,
mentioned.
yeah, yeah. There's no doubt about it. But it was, but the journey theme was added another value that I want to talk about, which is uh continuity of theming, right? That car played Journey while it was driving the whole time.
Hmm.
Nobody
Hmm.
stopped. We had the booth, we had this, we had all that good stuff. Um, that one, I think we just needed more of our team to really dig into it. And I don't think they
So
really saw it.
what that's the one thing is like I just saw for that particular theme, what I saw was just singing and a lot of air guitar. But I didn't understand the rest of what was happening with it.
It wasn't well formulated in that respect. And Chris will probably tell me, Eric, you've forgotten something, which is probably 100% true. But that it was really just we're 80s Journey fans,
Hmm.
and there's nothing. That's it. And it was just all about Journey.
Hmm.
I mean,
And
once you go there, you just don't stop believing.
yeah, funny. Yeah. But there are other themes which have won in the past, which were simpler but just more um never stopping, right? Let's
Hmm.
just take Space Pants,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
Space Pants won probably because Eric didn't want to see it come back for its sixth time or seventh time,
That
right?
is, I believe you're 99.9% true. Uh, it's like one of those jokes, it starts off funny and then it's not funny and then it's not funny and then all of a sudden it starts getting funny again.
Getting funny again, yeah. And it'll eventually come back down. So stop it
Yeah,
there, give it to
yeah,
him, and then go from there.
yeah. Please stop.
Um,
This is you
yeah,
win. Please stop.
yeah, and then of course the just like winning at Lemons, uh, you never know what your competition is going to be.
Hmm.
Sometimes a mid-level theme can win because
Hmm.
there's nobody else with it that's anything better than a mid-level theme, right? It just happens, right? Especially
Like
we
like at
like
Jersey, we
Pittsburgh.
had uh the Italian job.
Love the Italian Job.
That
Oh
was
my
a
gosh,
Problem
that was so
Jersey.
great.
Jersey
great
was
theme.
should have had three
Three or four,
winners.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
three
was
or four winners. And that was going to be a hard one for them to pick. And I do not begrudge that judging staff trying to figure out which one is the winner on that one. I
you
love the
know,
Italian Job.
you know
They did a
part of it
fantastic job.
Yeah, I kept trying to talk him into keep doing it hard because I'm sure they would have won like at Thompson or the next one. Or I mean, that was such a great thing. The one thing that I do think breaks ties is how you drive.
Yes,
Like if you
absolutely.
drive like a five black flag kind of weekend,
Yeah.
your theme
Yeah.
could be over the top great and might not win.
Yeah. Well, that's why you come out of favor with the judges for being
Exactly.
not what Lemons is supposed to be.
Hmm.
Yes,
Right.
the theme, but don't be an a-hole on the
Hmm.
track. Right.
Yep.
And they keep seeing you and they keep seeing your theme in a negative way.
Hmm.
That's gonna reflect poorly when it comes to theme determination. But
Exactly.
I mean, this is a fundamental Lemons fact. You're there to win. You're there to have a great racing weekend,
Yeah.
right? And winning means you're going to get more penalty laps next
Yeah.
time. So you just think of it that way. It's have a great weekend and be part of the community. And five
I
black flags doesn't make you part of the community, not in one
no.
day.
I always say we don't necessarily go there to win. We go there to be better, like
Yeah.
to win against ourselves.
Hmm.
And if it somehow works out that, everybody else doesn't do any better than that and we won a level, okay, we'll take it. But, that's not the point. It's, like you said, if you're going to Lemons to win your class, might not be the most important part of the weekend.
Yeah. And unfortunately, in my mind, and I'm not going to name any teams whatsoever, there's a few teams that go there to win Class A
Hmm.
and they theme at best mediocrely.
I was going to say minimal.
Minimal. Yeah, I guess.
Like I
I don't,
kind
I
of know
don't,
you want me to do this, and I'm doing it because I don't want you to give me penalty laps. But
right,
yeah.
right. And they do win some of those ones. They do
Hmm.
win. And I guess they're there to race. But I would rather not rather, if they're there to race and they've already won a few times, you've already won a few times. Now add the theme.
Team hard.
Right. You got a bunch of guys or women who've seen it happen. They've seen what happens. And also be more part of the community. Come out at night. Come and be part of
Yeah.
that. So it's kind of like a whatever. That's a whole nother thing.
This is
That's
this
not
is
part of
where
this discussion.
this is where I get on my soapbox and say, if you win A once, okay, I've been talked out of this, but if you win A twice, you should be in the champions class, which is kind of the feel
Yeah.
free, come on down, come race with us. You can't win
Mhm.
it though. You've
Yeah.
you've you've showed you can do that with that car.
Yeah. Like at Thompson, Howley got 10 penalty laps, right?
Hmm.
10 started with a -10, which is with the competition there. That was going to be hard
Yeah.
for them to. And I'm okay with that concept of starting to give Class A penalty laps. But another thing to note is if you win Class C in a Class C car, winning Class B is
Impossible.
almost impossible.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you're winning Class B in a Class B car, winning Class A is practically impossible.
Like the Cheaties car.
So, like the Cheaties car, yeah, that was. I'm sure everyone's heard that story, but they petitioned so hard because it had been so long since it had won B and it was in Class A for so long, and they said, "All right, we'll bump you down to B." And that same race, they won B again.
Yep. They're a
And there you
tremendous
go.
car. It's just
Oh yeah,
unless
it's a
unless Uncle Dave does something a little more, they're just not enough there. There's always going to be two or three cars that are able to beat them, and one of them will.
Hmm.
yeah. I would say it's one of those things that they will never put enough power in that car because it ruins the ethos of what the Cheaties car, the Cressida is. Right?
Hmm.
The Cressida is a mid tens, mid top 10 car
Every
uh,
time.
because it is so consistent and has long runs and the team races so cleanly, and
Yeah.
that's why they're there. But they're never gonna. It would take a miracle. It would take a miracle
A
to win
miracle.
Class A. It's possible, if
Oh, it's
all the other
possible. It's just it's
whiners and tatas and this and that don't show up that weekend or
yep.
whatever. It's possible,
Yep.
Hmm.
but it's unlikely.
Yeah, it is. And but that's not the point anyway. But
That's not
anyway,
the point.
let's go back to
We're off
theming.
track.
Let's go back to theming.
Theming.
So one of our goals getting into Lemons was we wanted to theme hard. We wanted to stay on brand, which, the Garage Heroes, we were superheroes to start with. And then we started branching out into other heroes, different kinds of heroes. But we started pre Halloween Meets Gasoline. So our goal was let's try and do something that makes the video because the videos are awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like it.
And
That's a
we've
good goal.
succeeded a few times and,
Yeah.
job well done. Then there's these other themes which have zero chance of making the video. I bring to the table a legendary Three Pedal Mafia theme, which was never going to make the video.
Nope.
Which one of these that I'm thinking of right now are you talking about?
Let's go with uh
Oh, this is going to be creative.
Springtime with Hitler.
Okay, so the producers.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, Springtime for Hitler. Yeah, absolutely. I was not there yet. That was pre me. But
It's a
it was
legit
soon
movie.
after. Such a great theme. They
Mhm.
did the whole song. They
Mhm.
had the cars. They had, Bruce wearing a large sausage on his head, right? They
Sausage, yeah.
had,
Sausage.
yeah. They had uh, Omar playing Hitler. They had
Mhm.
everything. Brilliant theme, which gets me down to another one of my things. You can't go wrong with Mel Brooks.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Well, you can.
Well, don't do 12 chairs. People
You
like
can
I
go
don't
wrong.
have freaking clue what you're
You
talking.
just got to be careful
You
now.
got to be really careful. I mean, how many? Let's put it this way: for the home game players, how many potential political careers have been bashed against the rocks due to Lemon's theming?
I don't know of any yet.
I'm pretty sure we've knocked off many potential political careers.
You're saying that they may have the burgeoning and they'll never get
Yes,
there because
they
they never
never
got
get.
to
Yeah,
a level.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because
this
I
is
was thinking like Vermin Supreme who smashed the Ombre that one time. He hit
Mhm.
something with the Ombre in New Hampshire. But I think his career is solid.
I think he's
No
he's
matter what he
he's
does.
he's past his expiration date. He's fine. He's good. I'm just thinking that, some of these political careers have been truncated. Perhaps a Citroen based theme, perhaps.
Don't kink shame, Bill. Don't kink
I'm
shame.
not king shaming. I'm just saying, some people theme related to their car, and your car was a French car. That was what the theme was,
An
wasn't it?
SM,
Oh,
yes.
that's right. Citroen SM. That's right. That's what it was.
Yes. That was brilliant theme. Three Pedal Mafia pulled that off brilliantly.
Hmm.
My favorite story about that one is how there were children who learned that the Civic was Mr. Fister.
Hmm.
And then year later asked where Mr. Fister was.
Well, I mean, you miss Mr. Fister sometimes.
Oh my God. That's so cute. And I'm glad that their innocence allows for that to be a simple thing as a Mr. and a fist. That's all.
Yeah. So the Civic, when we
Yeah.
first started, was a giraffe because
Yeah.
the sticking straight out had a giraffe head on it.
Yeah.
Later to become Godzilla. However, before we had started, apparently it was a fist.
Yep. That's right. It was a fist due to the S&M skit,
Mhm.
S&M theme. Very well
Mhm.
done. Great costumes. Dominatrixes, bases, and subs and all that stuff. But let me go back to the giraffe one.
The
To me,
giraffe
that
one?
one was a solid quality theme because this was pre-Halloween Meets Gasoline, so we weren't doing
Mhm.
songs and stuff, but it was a takeoff of that dentist who went to Africa and was bought safari
Safari or
kills,
something. Yeah.
shooting tigers and I mean lions and such. And we had mounted a chair with the guy with the gun on the top,
Mhm.
and the hombre was the safari killing
Mhm.
machine. That one was a good thing. Everybody was in their different animal costumes or whatever. That one was because to me that runs that slightly obscure,
Mhm.
right? but relatable, but to everybody can, once you hear it, you understand it,
Timely.
and
It was
timely, and everybody was part of it. Everybody kept wearing the costumes all weekend. It was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, Dave.
hmm,
And
well, one
today,
of
if we did that one again, we would have gone
way
two
over.
times the levels
Hmm.
and done skits and that. And I want to bring up skits. Like the beautiful art that the Dune people did, it's almost critical for you to do a skit or a structured presentation slash theater during tech,
And
right? That
sometimes
is,
multiple for the weekend
yes, and that is going to be a necessity these days to win. To
because it's
win,
getting harder
yeah, it's getting better.
I mean, harder to win,
Yeah,
better
yeah,
themes. The
yeah.
competition is quite tight.
100% agree with you.
You know which one still cracks me up? It was early in our Lemons career, and you guys were coming off of your dominating national championship. And then at New Jersey, you decided that you were going to be national effing champions.
Oh, so cute. It was
And by
such a good
effing,
theme.
I don't mean effing.
Right. Yep. Everybody dressed as some type of champion, right? Which
Yes.
is funny because there was a dodgeball person in that one at the
There
time,
was.
that was great. Yeah. And everybody picked one of their champions, from a little deflate gate,
Yeah, Chris with
Tom
his
Brady with the
deflated football. Yeah.
football. Chrissy was one of the gymnasts.
Hmm.
Um, I think Bruce was the guy who did dodgeball. Was
I think so.
dodgeball? Yeah, I was the hot dog eating champion. Uh, Japanese guy who I forgot his name right now. It doesn't matter. But that one was adorable because we all were continuing a joke about being national effing champions because, and I don't think people understand this. There was a 6 years ago now,
Hmm.
they we a bunch of us decided because the winning the national championship was considered funny or a good thing. We combined teams and everybody registered under the same national effing champions so that the points couldn't do anything but be awarded to the national effing champion team. And so the national effing champions won for the year. They were the national effing champions. So it was all gaming, and the Lemons team knew it, and they told the other guys who actually won, all that stuff. It was all good, but it was funny, and it drew from that and expanded.
You had El Jefe was the Lucha Libre guy.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. He was a Mexican wrestler. Oh,
Hmm.
so good. Yeah, everybody dug in. There's a picture for that somewhere. I have to go look at it because it's been a long time.
Yeah, I've got one up. It's just really low res. So I see somebody with a broom. I don't know what.
That's a curler. They were curling.
Okay, curling.
Yeah.
Then you've got Lance Armstrong there was Giant Dave.
Yes, he had his huge testicle.
Uh-huh. Just
That
just
was
one though. Just one. That's
just
all you need.
one. Yeah.
Anything
Well,
more than that's
unfortunately,
bragging.
poor guy. Poor guy. I mean,
And you all
Lance had
had
a
trophies, like trophies the entire weekend.
oh, and everybody got a trophy. And then, of course, I think Amanda won that weekend, so it gave her the huge trophy at the win for winning Class A, right? And
Hmm.
Hmm.
she brought it back next year, of course, and it lived on for a while to different various people. So it was cute,
Hmm.
very cute.
That was pretty good. That was a good
Yeah.
theme.
It was.
Yep. That was brilliant. That was before I was just a person jumping in to help. Uh, now we do a lot of talk beforehand to try to come up with winning themes, which,
It
So
gets difficult.
where do you come up with your themes, or where do you come up with your theme ideas, or how do you keep track of them? Because I know we have a doc.
we have a doctor,
Okay.
yeah, of theme ideas. And then it used to be pre-me that they would Bruce, I think just Bruce would race at New
Atlantic City.
at Atlantic City,
Hmm.
and then everybody go there, get drunk, and theme.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
And they
that
did.
hasn't happened, and that hasn't happened since then. Well, it did
Since
happen one year, but since I was doing it, and so that's not what's currently the path. The Path
Oh.
is now talk it out somewhere in the January timeframe.
Hmm.
But now it's also to the point where you have to theme practically every race differently, right?
Hmm.
You shouldn't be just repeating the theme. You would want to see if the car could repeat, so you don't have
Right.
to try to make the car look different every time. But boy, it's it's a lot more now.
Yeah,
Theming's
you
hot.
got to get the car as part of it,
Yeah, yeah,
you
that's a
know?
good point. We did not talk about that yet.
Yep.
I see a
Yep.
lot of themes who don't tie in the car, and
Hmm.
that's missing a big element. You want to tie in the car
I've
because
seen some really good themes, and their car is just silver or
silver's
black.
not a theme. Black's not a
Silver is not
theme.
a thing. Black is not a theme. No. And
Another good theme. The black is not a theme. Silver's the color's not a theme.
mhm.
Theme that we did at Thompson 6 years ago or whatever.
Yep.
That was fun.
And you know, when we're talking about this, it doesn't take you weeks to do this. I mean, we've done some of our themes on the way.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like we don't have a theme yet. Oh, what are we going to do? Oh, I don't remember. Let's go stop at the Walmart or stop at the
Mhm.
costume store.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. Like Chris always says that something in the news may pop
Hmm.
and close to that, and then that we may retheme everything. You know, we wouldn't have rethemed Blazing Saddles, but we would retheme any of the other ones. That would make sense because it makes more sense being topical, being relatable, all that stuff. That's a good entity. If you're given that gift, that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah. Don't rule out something that pops up on a Wednesday and the race is on Friday. So
Mhm.
you can do that.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So Halloween Meets Gasoline has raised this thing to a whole new level. I
Hmm.
think traditionally it was expected or encouraged to theme hard, and now Halloween Meets Gasoline made it so that so many teams are doing it. It's actually a
Hmm.
difficult competition now.
It is a difficult competition, and I love that fact. To me, that's just making
Hmm.
lemons even better. Now, uh, I don't just to all the teams out there, don't feel like you have to win themes. Just theme. Enjoy yourself. Find something that you enjoy and just do it because that will bring you into the community as
It
opposed to
adds to the race.
adds to the
It
race. It
does.
adds to you start to meet these people, and next year you come back and they're like, "Oh, I remember when you were, you were the unicorn or the My Little Pony car. Oh, that was so much fun. I loved it. That brings you together. That makes and they're more there to not help you, but be part of a community, which is what Lemons is and should continue to be.
And I think the funniest one where we had a team come together, which was totally um off the rail, I guess, was when we had the team cars that was stole our cookie. It was Cookie Monster from another team, and they came and they bolted it to the top of their car, which was not staged at all, but it was just totally unplanned, but it was just the best of the weekend.
Best, those are the kinds of things that when something gives you an opportunity and you run with it, right?
Hmm.
It's so good. That was so much fun. That one and the ransom website, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
They
they
created
set up the
a
ransom
website
website.
out of nowhere, just immediately, low code, no code. I don't even know which one it was, but and this boom, there's a website. You go to it, click it, and then they started putting the URL out.
That was
So
so
good,
funny.
so good. Yeah, and your
Hmm.
Chrissy's Mom's Cookies love the theme, right? Already a beautiful theme, right?
Uh-huh.
Because of UNR and everybody loves Chrissy's Mom's Cookies. If
They
you
do.
don't know them, you need to be part of the community. Come into the paddock. Come in. Don't go to the hotel. Stay around on Friday night. Right?
Yep.
Be
Yep.
part of it because you'll have some cookies and you'll be like, how come I haven't had these delicious cookies before?
I
Well,
know.
nobody has done Chrissy's mom's cookies.
Yeah,
That was
that's
Until
true.
us.
Until you were the first and so far the only.
Well, I
But that
mean,
was a great theme.
the fun part was that people thought we were actually sponsored by some company.
Yep. They really did.
Well, let's just say the reason for that is how brilliantly beautiful your wrap was. Your car looked like it was like somebody in New Jersey was trying to not pay taxes by doing a write-off based on their company losses, right? I like, well, I may be racing for my car, but
These
I'm
things
selling
happen.
advertisement that, yeah.
Chrissy, when we rolled that car off, just just a look on her face. She's
So good.
calling her mom.
So good.
The funniest
Mom, you
part
got
about
a
that,
race car.
the funniest part about that was we had our traditional, get together for post Thanksgiving, and Chrissy and a little bit less Chris, but both of them were getting angry that we weren't going to tell them
Yeah,
what
they
our
were.
theme was.
Well, and they basically said they knew that that had something to do that was tying them into it somehow. They think, but
They're like, "Come on, it's us. What are you doing?" And I'm like, "No,
yeah,
no,
they were helping us cage and
I'm sworn to secrecy. I'm not allowed to tell
yeah.
you." They're like,
I told them nothing. You guys told me ahead of time, and I told them nothing.
mm-hmm,
Not even. I just said you'll love it. That's it,
mm-hmm. And they did.
and they did.
And
That
they
was a great
did.
thing. Yeah. So let's just be clear. To bring that back a little too, sometimes if you can make the car be the focus of the theme,
Hmm.
right? More power to you. That's a S&M or Cookie's mom, Chrissy's mom, Cookies, or right. That's really happened. And if your car is a theme and you've run the same car for 2 years with the same theme, spend some time this winter repainting it.
Think about
Hmm.
it, or
Yeah,
at
do
least
something else.
change it a little bit.
Yeah, do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, and I know I go back a little and say just theme anything, but do a little change, do a little something,
Hmm.
right? If you have a superhero or whatever, and go change it to the original one or the multiverse one or something, do
Right.
something, I'm, that kind of thing. Or yeah. So anyway, that's an opinion of mine that I'd like to see that, but unfortunately, a lot of people get caught up in I want to win, and I understand it is a competition.
That's part of it, but that's not the
Yeah,
whole thing. You
yeah.
Hmm.
Why not do
Need
both?
more.
Why
Why
not
not do
do
both?
both?
And we've
Yeah.
we've found that just wrapping a car for in our situation, wrapping a car just makes it easier, just makes it faster, and you have more options to change whatever you're doing
You know what doesn't
easier.
make it easier?
But
Plasti dip in a car.
no, plasti dip. Don't plasti dip a car. We did that first.
That's not the
That
plan.
was
What
before we understood what wraps were.
what did you plasti dip?
The
The
Mustang.
Mustang.
Remember when it was Spider-Man?
Yes, I
It
forgot
was
that was plasti
plasti
dip.
dipped.
That was spray dip.
Oh my
We didn't
God.
know about wraps back then. That was our first theme.
No,
We
that's
were
funny. I love
painting.
that.
And then we were painting over. We were doing all of our theme by painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, this is a lot of work. It's a lot of messy work.
A lot of prep.
Yeah, a lot of prep work. So we started wrapping and it made things a lot faster, a lot easier. And we
Wow.
even got a printer involved down the way.
Better.
So he helps us.
Oh, yeah, the printer down the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun though. So Eric, I don't know if you're aware, but there's been threats that we're going to do a group theme next year, both teams.
I love it. Group themes are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
More the better, right? Just make it be. And
Bigger,
I've not been aware of that. So someone's holding out on me.
bigger is better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
That 1984 theme was pretty awesome that we did. I think we had 6 cars involved
Yeah,
At
the
yeah,
least.
entire weekend.
yeah. I thought that one was a little confusing to the judges as to what were we really saying, and the answer was we were just having a good time celebrating the '80s, and then
Hmm.
throwing in that old Orwellian 1984, I think was what gave it a good fun. But we weren't as uh, with it or together and or complete of a thought as the hippos or the Italian job or that, right? They were pretty concise
Mm-hmm.
concepts that were we were a bit broader, which was part of the theme that we were half of us got the wrong 1984,
We
which
were
was good.
we were next level, and some people just can't keep up.
Yeah, can't keep up with it.
Nope, no way. All right. So if you were to summarize and make like the top couple bullet points.
A theme. I'll do it. Ready? Right, here we go. Make sure you have fun.
Hmm?
Have fun in your theme, right? If you're not having fun, it'll be obvious. Theme deep in the manner of think layers, think skits, think multiple instances in which the judges can see you and understand it's your theme. That means your car, your demonstration at tech, and then multiple times coming through. Like and this is an aside. This is not my top numbers here, but do tell if you're going to do something weird in the judges booth, tell one of them ahead of time that you're going to do something. Like you're going to come through without stopping, or you're going to do that. Don't warn them ahead of time that this is theming instead of something that would seem like you're doing something unsafe or something like that. Just
Right.
take that moment. They actually appreciate that, even though it does a little bit of ruining of the theater.
Hmm.
But it turns it into something safe and better than them not understanding what you're doing, that it is theming, and then they're like, you guys just made everybody unsafe. Don't do that. Don't do that. And then the last thing, of course, is uh, be topical, if possible. Find something that everybody understands. Find some obscurity to it, and then dig in deep. And I think those are the big ones for me.
And
But having
don't
fun is the most important thing.
don't stop.
Don't stop.
Just,
Dig in deep.
I
Don't let
mean,
it end.
for Over the Top Gun, it was basically the rule of the weekend was if we think of it, we're doing it.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't think we had it until we did the funeral. I don't think we had
It,
one until we did the funeral.
Hmm.
it was going to be close at best. At best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
So it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing.
it was.
That was thank you for letting me be part of that joy. That was
It
awesome.
was, and we can think of no one we'd rather theme hard with than you, Eric.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You guys are so much fun. I look forward to the next time we get to race together.
It will be great. So now that you've got your Walgreens correction,
Yeah.
Yep.
your next race is New Hampshire, I believe.
That's right. Mazda 3 back in New Hampshire. Now in
Awesome.
Class A, which means they ain't gonna ever win that.
Ain't gonna win A.
Mm.
Not unless
No,
Chris K swaps it or does something crazy.
that is such a great car too. Problem is it's 2,800 pounds with a running 190 horsepower or something like that, and it can't keep up with the other ones. Even if we had a flawless race, unless there's truly a problem with the top 6 cars or something like that.
Well,
We're
you
not
need
going to be able
rain,
to.
right? First off, you just need rain just
That
to
would help.
even,
Yeah, that would help.
and then maybe a fuel cell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're doing 3.5 hour stints. And those, I mean, you got a chance at winning, but is that really fun?
That's not why we're here anymore. Not for that. You know, yeah, I'm
And
not
then
going to speak for
racing,
Chrissy, but
winning is just one aspect of lemons, really.
yeah,
It actually it's what you're. I mean, what are you there for? I mean,
right.
some people are there to win. Some people are there to have a good time. Some people are there to have their whole team dress up and race.
That's right.
It's a little. Some people are just there just to be with friends and just have a
Yeah.
good time.
Some people are there to bring us Simca and know
Exactly.
that at best they're going to get his IOE ever, which is
Ever.
great, But what Chris's point is casual racing with friends now,
Yep.
and that's where
Yeah.
we're going to go until something else pops up, some other car, or maybe the Mazda RX-7 or 4.8 shows up again. That would be another. That's when we start looking at something else.
Hmm.
So I guess usually we love to interact with the audience. I would love to know what they think either has been a great theme or would be a great theme.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because I think that would be fun. And, uh, it's not too early for us to start thinking about what themes we do next year. So we may end up using one of these ideas. And we will definitely credit the listener who tells us because, Look at us. We're not that creative, except for Vicki.
So this is a call out. Vicky's awesome. This is a call out to the massive listener list. What is the best theme? Where would you want to see Garage Heroes in Training or a combined team?
That's right.
Do a theme. What would you want to see? And the answer is, you tell us.
It's like you're listening to the radio and somebody says, "Call in, give us a request. We'll play this next song." Dedicated to Linda.
Linda, long-time listener, first-time caller. Hey, Linda.
This one goes out to you from Jerome.
It's a midnight dedication.
That's right. I've been watching too much Morris Day in the time, but that's okay.
That's fine.
I don't know where Jerome came from. Whatever. It's okay. So anyway, Eric, thank you for coming on and talking theming.
Hey, you guys are awesome. Thank you for giving me some time to talk.
You know what would be great, Eric?
What's that?
If you gave us some pictures of some Three Pedal Mafia themes, and we will use them on this episode.
Okay, I'll go find them.
Awesome. Even better.
Oh yeah. You know one that we forgot to talk about? The ambiguously gay duo.
Oh my gosh.
The best part about that one was when you guys did it. Not only the skits you guys had plans, which were awesome and scary. It was when the car started to, I don't know if leak's the right word, but when it got wet and there were little flesh colored puddles around the paddock. Hilarious.
That was hilarious. And the sad thing is that was the only time I ever got to race that car, and then it went off to the West Coast and unfortunately
died there.
Met a demise. Yeah.
Oh.
That was a lot of fun. Couldn't see out of that back of that car.
Didn't have to worry. Anything that was behind you was dealt with.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, that one, we could talk about that one another time.
We can.
Yeah.
I'll get you a picture though of that one.
That would be awesome. Cool. Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Bill. Be well. Have fun.
You
Don't drive in Virginia.
No, never. Not by choice.
Not by choice.